Hello and welcome back to Come Geek Some. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe for all future content. We're going to dive into part 2 in just a moment, but I just want to put this here, because Nick Recader has actually been, there's actually a notice of intent for him. It's actually really funny, because Nick actually posted this himself on his stream last night or this morning, depends where you are, and it's a notice of intent to serve subpoena. And the funny thing is, Nick actually pointed this out himself. It's a notice of notice to serve, which is actually really funny. Anyway, we're going to go through that on a different day, but right now we're going to carry on with the TCPA of FUNimation, and we're going to start with Exhibit A, which is the affidavit of Karen Mika, or Micah. So, obviously it's got all the, her name and what she is and all that, and I'm going to go down straight away to just down to number 3. And obviously, because obviously we know that she's a vice president, she's over the age of 18, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to start at number 3. FUNimation is a Flower Mountain-based entertainment company that specialises in the dubbing and distribution of foreign content, mostly anime. One of the most popular properties distributed by FUNimation is the Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball, action-adventure franchise from Japan. FUNimation hires voice actors who are independent contractors to dub the Japanese productions into English. FUNimation is a subsidiary of Sony Pictures Entertainment, and Sony Pictures Entertainment provides human resources related and legal support services to FUNimation from time to time. That is going to come into a little bit after. So, obviously number 4 just shows that Vic Mignogna obviously has provided voice acting for FUNimation since 2004. And then obviously number 5 it says, on the day of Dragon Ball Super Broly was released, that's when they received the actual Twitter from Han Leia, which I've been now told is Alison Cook. So thank you to everyone who has told me that. That's really grateful. I'm really grateful. It's really helpful for me. So obviously then next day, January 18th, FUNimation learned of additional allegations of this by Vic at conventions through negative Twitter posts. So, this is where it gets really feisty and funny for myself. Number 6. Because of the allegations circulating about Mr. Mignogna, I directed FUNimation's Trina Simon, FUNimation's Human Resources Manager, to contact Sony Pictures to request that they investigate the allegations. So, this comes along the lines of, obviously, we've been told by a few people, in the Glassdoor website, but we've also been told via other means that FUNimation doesn't really have a HR department. So, but we got one here, though, that Mika has actually asked Trina Simon, who is the FUNimation's Human Resources Manager, to contact Sony Pictures so they can investigate this, which is rather funny, I must admit. And obviously, this was around January 22nd. Remember, Ron started speaking to Kamea Khan on the 10th of January, 12 days beforehand, where he actually said, Vic's going to be done and all this. So obviously, Ron had insider knowledge. So, Miss Simon contacted Zach Hall, who is Executive Director of Human Resources for Sony Pictures, to request the investigation. The investigation of Mr. Mignogna was handled by Tammy Denbrough at Sony on or about January 29th. So this is another 7 days after that all this was supposedly handled. So straight away we have different accounts of what dates are being done. So, Tammy reported to me and Trina Simon that Miss Denbrough had found that certain allegations of this conduct made against Vic were credible. Based on Miss Denbrough's investigation, I concluded that FUNimation should terminate its relationship with Vic. So, obviously all this going on, there's going back to earlier where we've done investigations. We spoke to 2 fans, we spoke to Monica, we spoke to Vic, and we also spoke to other people who we're not going to mention. So, January 29th, literally they didn't even do it. They say they did the investigation for a week. They did it for 7 days. Obviously, out of those 7 days, they would have had days off as well. So they didn't really look into this properly. They probably just spoke with Monica, spoke with those 2 fans or whatever, which I really do think is going to be Dominic Sky and someone else. And that's where it's happened. And that's how they've done it. So, 29th of January, I contacted Vic by telephone along with Trina Simon and Zach Hall. On the call, I informed Vic that his conduct was unacceptable to FUNimation and that FUNimation was terminating its contract. FUNimation did not make any public statement about its termination of Vic at that time. But then you got by here, which is the one I absolutely love, I must admit. Again, remember in the last video I said that they're going to be like chucking Monica and all these people under the bus? This is where it comes from. FUNimation is not responsible for any tweets or other social media publications or commentary by co-defendants Monica, Jamie or Ron. FUNimation does not have any control over what they say or publish on their personal Twitter accounts or in any other social media. Rial and Marshy are not employees or agents of FUNimation, and they do not have actual or apparent authority to speak on behalf of FUNimation. Mr. Mignogna and other voice actors who work for FUNimation, including Rial and Marshy, are independent contractors, and FUNimation does not hold any of these voice actors out as its employee or agent. For his part, Ron Toye is the fiancé of Monica Rial. Toye is not an employee or agent of FUNimation and has no relationship whatsoever with FUNimation. So, with all of that, obviously, and she just got the signatures of them. With that one there, I really do find it actually really, really funny because they've literally just thrown them 3 under the bus. They're like, yeah, whatever they say, we're not taking any blame for what they've done. All they've said is all the stuff that they've said, you know, those tweets that Ron has sent, the tweets that Jamie or Monica have sent, nothing to do with us. They do not represent anything that we do. So I find that really, really funny. But the one thing that does kind of grinds my gears is when they're saying about they handed it over to Sony Pictures Entertainment to do the investigation. With that, I really don't see why that their own HR department didn't do it, because, let's be honest, Sony Pictures, they probably just looked at it, just heard it and went, yeah, whatever, get rid of him. I don't really care, we can't have this for the studio, blah, blah, blah. They haven't really looked into it. And, again, we still need to find out who these 2 fans and others were. But I'm still going to go with my opinion of that one of these fans is Dominic Sky. And again, someone else, it could be someone else that is being a relevant part of Kick Vic, who voices their opinion a hell of a lot. But again, we're not going to know. And obviously, Vic was the first one to say, right, for the people that you got coming forward, supposedly over 100 people, Ron, let's have let's keep it confidential so their names don't get out to people, which is understandable. But then they were like, no, we're not going to do that, we want everything public. But then they go, actually, yeah, we want a confidentiality. But Vic has gone back to him and said no. So it's like, we offered you that and you've said no to it. So, but yes, that's quite interesting. These pages are regarding what one of them has only said. So we do have Exhibit B as well, which is Tammy Dembow. You've also got Exhibit C, which is Scott Barretto, but we'll go through him on another video. So we're just going to go through Tammy. So, State of Iowa, Country of Polka, before me, and decide, yep, she's only over the age of 18. And we also find out that she's the Executive Director of Employee Relations for Sony Entertainment. She's been in this role since March 2014. I am the central point of contact for employee relations concerns, including conducting internal investigations into employment and workplace-related matters. I perform scores of internal investigations for Sony Entertainment and its subsidiaries on an annual basis. As set out below, I investigated certain allegations made against voice actor Vic Mignogna. When my investigation began, Sony Entertainment's subsidiary, FUNimation, had just released an anime feature in which Vic provided the voice for one of the lead characters, and there was allegations on social media that Vic had engaged with this at conventions. January 22nd, Sony Pictures Entertainment Human Resource Department asked me to investigate certain allegations made against Vic. Specifically, I was given information by FUNimation about allegations from 2 female fans. I was also alerted by FUNimation that another of his voice actors, Monica Rial, she wanted to share information about her experience with Vic. So, this is what I like to hear now. This is another one. Number 4, I conducted telephone interviews of 2 potential witnesses on 22nd of January. I then interviewed Monica via phone on January 23rd. January 24th, I interviewed the 2 female fans who alleged that Vic engaged in inappropriate conduct at the convention. During my investigation, I also learned that a former FUNimation employee had also complained about Vic's conduct while she was employed at FUNimation. But again, with that one right by there, well, no one has ever heard of that. It's only coming out now, So, finally, I interviewed Vic by telephone on January 25th, where I asked him questions about the issues involving Monica, the 2 fans, and the former employee. Based on my interviews, I concluded that the allegations of this conduct made against Vic were credible. So, again, just one person, and to be honest with you, this one person, she's probably going to side with the other people no matter what, They've probably looked into it and gone, oh yeah, you know what, we'll just do it. So I think that's really, really bit of a kick in the nuts, really, for Vic. And it's not right, because I personally do think that these 2 fans, they probably put on the tears, put on the waterworks. Monica probably put on the waterworks as well. They were crying, they were shaking, like, oh, this happened, I was like, well, again, this supposedly happened a while ago. Why didn't they go to the police? This is what people cannot seem to understand with these people. Why hasn't any of you gone to the police? So, personally, again, this is why I think a lot of it is bull, and a lot of it is just them trying to make stuff up just to try and destroy Vic. But again, I do like how FUNimation have thrown them under the bus. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell for future updates, and I'll see you lovely people soon.